Hello everyone, so today we're just going to be going over a couple of problems on how to use the quotient rule when you're supposed to find the derivatives. So today we have the problem f of x is equal to cosine x divided by 1 plus cosine x. So we have learned the basics on how to apply a basic quotient rule, so we're going to just dump in and see how we could apply for this certain problem. So first of all, you're supposed to take the denominator of the problem and bring it to the top. Our denominator here is 1 plus cosine x. So I'm going to bring that to the top. Then you multiply that denominator with the derivative of the top. So our derivative, just to make it sure, this is numerator and this is denominator. Everyone should be knowing that for sure, but just to make sure. The derivative of cosine x is negative sine x. So you multiply that minus, you basically just do the opposite. So you're going to take the top numerator, which is cosine x, and you're going to multiply that with the derivative of the bottom denominator. So the derivative of 1 plus cosine x is basically, you're going to take the derivative of each term. The derivative of 1 is 0, plus the derivative of cosine x is what we just found out again, negative sine x. Whole divided by. So now for a quotient rule, you whole divide whatever denominator of the question is itself and just square it. So now you go on, you're going to multiply each term. So 1 times negative sine x is negative sine x, plus cosine x times negative sine x is negative sine x cosine x, minus cosine x. So this negative is going to apply to this cosine x. So I have now negative cosine x times 0 is 0. I don't think there's a big need to write that out, so I'm going to just omit that for the second. And negative cosine x times negative sine x gives me positive sine x cosine x. Reason, negative times negative gives you a positive. Whole divided by 1 plus cosine x the whole squared. Okay, so now what I can do is I can check my top. I have negative sine x, then negative sine x cosine x, and positive sine x cosine x. Again, what you can notice is that you can cancel out these two terms because you have a negative and a positive. So that leaves me with negative sine x divided by 1 plus cosine x the whole square. For these type of problems, you don't really need to elaborate the denominator just because you're not needing to simplify it anymore. You don't have anything else to add or subtract or even simplify from the numerator or denominator or denominator and numerator. So basically you could keep this as your answer. So our final answer would be just the same thing, negative sine x divided by 1 plus cosine x the whole squared. So it would be the answer for this problem. I hope it makes sense. Basic stuff, you just need to know your basic derivatives for your tricks and just apply the quotient rule. We could do one more quick problem. Another good problem that we could go over would be x divided by x squared plus 1. So again, we know the basics of quotient rule. You're supposed to take the denominator to the top. So let's do it. F prime x, or your f of x, of course, was this. I'm just going to rewrite that. So you're taking the denominator to the top, x squared plus 1, times the derivative of x is 1, minus, you're doing the opposite. You're taking the numerator, which is x, so that's minus x, times the derivative of x squared plus 1, or the derivative of the bottom, which is the denominator. So the derivative of x squared is 2x, and the derivative of 1 is 0, so you can just leave that as 0, whole divided by x squared plus 1, the whole square. All right, so now taking that forward, you're going to multiply each term. X squared times 1 is x squared. 1 times 1 is 1, of course. Negative x times 2x gives you negative 2x squared. And negative x times 0 is 0, so there's no need to really rewrite that. Whole divided by x squared plus 1, the whole square. So now I have a positive x squared and a negative 2x squared. That leaves me with negative and positive, gives me negative x squared plus 1 divided by x squared plus 1 the whole square. So now you see that the top and the bottom terms are kind of similar. So if you want, you are allowed to cancel the top and the bottom, which will give you basically, if you take out the negatives from either top or the bottom, that could give you a change. But in this situation, if you're to stop here, this is still the answer. So you could say your final answer is negative x squared plus 1 divided by x squared plus 1 the whole square, which is what you receive as the derivative of the original question, which we had here. And that's it. That's a couple of our problems we had using the quotient rule.